Hey, I'm Kelsey from PoofyCheeks.com, where I share hundreds of free cut files, sublimation, Cricut, silhouette tutorials, and so many DIYs and crafts. So today we are talking about how to make a mug using a mug press and the Cricut Infusible Ink. So starting out, we're going to start out in Cricut Design Space. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and open up Cricut Design Space, and in the top right hand corner click on New Project, which will take us to a brand new canvas or project, and then we're just going to use one of Cricut's designs. So I want you to click on Projects on the left hand side, and then we're going to type in mugs in the search bar and see what comes up. With the introduction of the new Cricut Mug Press, which we're not using the Cricut Mug Press, let's just have that disclaimer now, but with the addition of the new Cricut Mug Press, they have come out with some specific designs that are already sized and ready for mugs. So when we type in mug, we get all these different designs, and I really like this I Run on Sunshine and Coffee design. Let's just look through real quick and see what they have. Now we are going to be using the Cricut Joy because I want to show you guys how, even though you have a Cricut Joy and you might not have the 12-inch long mat, you can still alter these designs, some of them, so that you can still use them. So let's go up to that sunshine design. Now this is supposed to wrap around the mug, so you would technically get it on both sides of the mug. It looks like Cricut crashed, so let's get this back up. But while I'm working on that, this mug design is made to wrap around the mug, so basically the design is tiled twice so that no matter if you're holding it with your right hand or your left hand, you see the design. We're just going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to make it so that the design's not as big and it would only be on one side of the mug. However, you could just cut it out twice without using their specific design. And we are doing a 12-ounce mug, so I've picked the 12-ounce mug, and then instead of make it, I need you to click on customize if you're using the Cricut Joy. If you are using another Cricut machine or you have the Cricut Joy with the 12-inch long mat, then you don't need to click on customize it. Just click on make it and skip through this next part. But we're clicking customize it because, like I said, we don't have that 12-inch long mat. We just have the mat that came with the Cricut Joy, and I don't feel like spending any extra money, bottom line. So here it is on our mat. This is what it wants to cut, but I want to get rid of half of that design. I can't ungroup it because this design was made by Cricut. It was uploaded their project. But what I can do is I can use the contour tool and I can click on the parts that I want to hide and show. So I'm going to speed this up real quick, but what I'm going to do is just click on the shapes that I want to keep. Or maybe it's click on the shapes I want to get rid of. I don't know because I always get confused in this part. But once you have it the way you want it, instead of clicking hide all contours, because I always click that button on accident, click the X on the top right. Okay, so now I'm only showing the text. I run on sunshine and coffee. I'm going to click the X, and then I'm going to grab the shapes tool and I'm going to find a square, and I'm going to put a square around this design so that it'll be a little bit easier to weed and line up. Plus, I can size it correctly. So I've got my square. Now I know that my mug is only 4 inches tall, so I'm going to select both the text and the square, and I'm going to size it down to be right under 4 inches. Now before you click make it, don't forget to go down and attach the two, the square and the text, together. Once you get to this question, we're going to be cutting with the mat, and make sure to mirror your design. Once you've done that, click on continue in the bottom right hand corner, the button that's lit up in green. It's going to ask us to pick our material. I don't see the infusible ink. So browse all materials and then just type in infusible into the search bar. Click that, done. And now it's telling us the little warning, make sure you mirror it, which we already did. And material is inked side up. I'm going to do more pressure just because I feel like this is a pretty thick material. I've got the box here. I did order this on Amazon. You can also purchase it at most craft stores, Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure if Hobby Lobby has it. I think they do. It comes in this film because they're telling you not to let any moisture or humidity or too much light get to it while not in use. So it has 2 sheets. They are 12 inches long. And like it says, we are going to put it on our mat with the printed side, so that kind of tie-dye bleach look is going to be up. When you load materials into the Cricut Joy, it pulls them all the way in just to detect that you are using the correct mat size for what you're telling it that you're using. So if it confuses you, you think it's going to start cutting, it's not going to start cutting. It's just trying to make sure that everything is correct. And on your screen, you'll even see where it says the Joy is making sure your mat is aligned. Once it's aligned, we're going to click go and we're off to the races. We are cutting our design for the mug. So let's speed this up real quick. Once it's done, you're going to unload your mat and then peel it off. Grab your weeding hook and scissors. I just like to take that square part out that I did, leaving the text behind. And it just helps me line everything up. It stays more straight. It helps me cut straight. So with the infusible ink, it cut really well, but I just like to weed it slowly. I don't want any of these letters to accidentally pop off of that transfer tape or carrier tape. The carrier tape is that sticky part. Cricut Infusible Ink is much like heat transfer vinyl, where they have taken basically a piece of printed sublimation paper and added it onto carrier paper so that you can cut it and weed it just like heat transfer vinyl. Here's our design. It is mirrored, so it is reading backwards, and we're doing that because when we put it on the mug, we're actually going to put it on the mug with that ink side touching the mug. Now, if you wanted to do a double-sided mug, here's where you would go ahead and cut the exact same thing over again. We're just going to do one-sided for the purpose of this video. I trimmed it nice and straight, so now I'm going to take that border around where the square was because we don't want that on the cup. And then I hold my mug with my right hand, so I want to put it so that when I'm holding my mug, the design is pointing towards me. So the carrier paper is sticky, but it doesn't feel like super sticky to me. So I'm going to use some of my heat resistant tape just on the sides to keep everything in place. The way I keep these straight is by the space between the tops of the letters and the top of the mug. So I actually put this one on really well to begin with. Sometimes it is a little trickier. And smooth everything out. You don't want any gaps. If you have like a gap or a bubble in there, then that's when you're going to see ghosting as you heat press. So like I said, if you're doing a second design, you could add that now to the other side, or if you're left-handed and you wanted it on the other side. Next up, we have the heat press here. What I like to do with the heat press is put my mug in before I even turn it on to make sure that the pressure is correct. There is a little knob that I can adjust to tighten it or loosen it based on the size of the mug. And if it's too tight, you might break the handle off like I recently did to one of my mugs. So check it before you turn it on. I have the mug press on. I've warmed it up to 375 degrees. And I just slide my mug in, press down, and now I'm pressing it for 3 minutes. You're going to see that the temperature, if you have a mug press like mine, is actually going to drop because you're putting a mug that is room temperature into the heat press. So what it does is over the course of the 3 minutes, the temperature drops, and then at the end, it comes back up to the 375. Now we're almost done, so I'm going to open it up now. It's very, very hot. I highly suggest using a pot holder, giving it a couple minutes. I don't like to leave mine sitting in the heat press, and I'm also impatient. So I just use my little tweezers and peel off the infusible ink design, peel off any pieces or tape that are left behind. And here's our design. It turned out so great. This has definitely been my mantra here lately, especially living in Florida. I run on sunshine and coffee, and that's all there is to it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to make these mugs. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos, including more mug videos. You can sign up to get all of our mug resources down below in the description of this video. We're doing 30 days of mugs with a list of all the supplies, freebies, videos. We're making heat transfer vinyl mugs, infusible ink mugs, and sublimation transfer mugs. So you don't want to miss it. All the supplies are also linked below. And if you want more in-depth Cricut videos like this one, you can join our membership. We have a $6 tier, a $10 tier, and a $20 tier, but all of our $20 tier members, they are getting our full 6-module course on Cricut Design Space using all different Cricut machines and all different materials. So it's $20 a month. You can unsubscribe at any time. We'd love to have you over there. We're actually using this video to kick off an entirely new module all about infusible ink and infusible ink markers.